everybody, and welcome to episode 7 of Let's Talk About the Music. We're going to have a conversation with Nance from Guilded Lilly and Australian solo artist Helen Perris on songs they have written on mental health. Now, before we dive into the conversation, did you know there are over 200 recognized mental health conditions? I'm going to list only a few, okay? There is anxiety attack disorder, depression, bipolar, dementia, autism, and PTSD, and ADHD, and OCD. And I am also been diagnosed as borderline personality disorder. We'll talk about more of that in the conversation. All right? Okay, so this is what the topic's about. All right, Nance, Helen, and I have coped with our mental health. We'll share you our struggles, our stories, and just make you guys feel you're not alone in this journey of dealing with your mental health. Plus, we're going to go over their songs that they have written for mental health, including 26 songs that I found on the internet. And we are going to go over those songs. Well, maybe you guys recognize them. Maybe you don't know that we are part of a mental health thing. Never know. Anyway, also, I'm going to stress that every single episode that I do produce will have their own blog. So this information that we're doing right now, that we're talking about on the podcast, will be on his blog. So even the songs that they have written will be on a Spotify playlist. Okay? All right. Now, before we get into the conversation, Papa Satch, play that theme song for me. Hit it, guys!
Let's talk about the music. Let's talk about the band. Let's talk about the music. Let's talk about the sound. Let's talk about the music. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the music. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about the music.
Alrighty, so welcome to the seventh episode of Let's Talk About the Music. We are going to talk about mental health. We are going to be chatting around the world in a way. I got my good friend Helen out there in Australia, and Miss Nance from Guided Lily, is back on the show.
Gilded.
You're some, huh? Gilded Lily is back on the show, and we're going to talk about musicians and mental health, because right now we kind of need it right now, but we're not going to go there. Give you guys a little bit of heads up on what the show is going to be about. Let me read something real fast. Is that how many songs have been written about mental health? There's a lot of songs I've researched. Other songs can address mental health. We got the Beatles. We got Andre Agassi. Music can be helped with mental health by reducing stress and anxiety, improving mood, and different kind of function. Music theory is also a way to help with depression, and we can all agree that mental health can really help you change your space. If you're upset to excited to anything, can actually help you reduce your thing. So what we're going to do is that we're going to go around the room here, introduce yourselves, because this show is going to be an audio and visual. That means people are going to see you guys on YouTube and also hear you guys on Spotify and Audio Boom and anywhere else you guys stream your podcast. Okay? All right. So Miss Helen, since you are way over there in Australia, go for it. You got 5 minutes.
Okay.
Tell all about you.
All about me. Well, I'm Helen Perris. I'm based in Sydney in Australia, but I grew up in Queensland. I'm a singer-songwriter and I'm a solo artist. And I released an album called Remove This Shield this year. And it's my debut album, but it's been a long time coming. I've had a long history myself of mental health issues, and part of why I released this album was because I wanted people to feel like they weren't alone. And I feel like I've come through the other side of a lot of the issues that I was dealing with, and I feel like I'm a bit stronger for it. Doesn't mean that I
I hear
don't
you.
still have things that get me down or anything like that, and you know, there can still be some really, really tough times, but the lessons that I have learned through through the therapy that I've done, and through all the things that I've had to work through, and through like making music and all that catharsis of writing songs about how I've felt, and knowing that there's other people out there that are feeling the same things and thinking the same things, that's made me feel a lot less alone. And so I wanted to be part of that, and you know, sharing the love and the compassion and the empathy for people. I feel like that's really, really important, and never more so than now. And yeah, a bit more about what I do. I like the music that I write is kind of a bit theatrical, but it's pop. It's I'm independent, completely independent artist, self-managed and everything. And my day job is I teach kids how to make music and how to write music and how to play piano and sing. So I get to make music like full time. That's I think a really wonderful thing, and that's been really great for me. It doesn't mean that I have to like I still have to take a step back sometimes and exercise some self-care, because things can get tough and things can get really full on. But yeah, I'm very fortunate that I have a very strong support team around me now as well. Even with my staff, because I run a music school, so I actually have staff that work for me now, and they're just fantastic. Yeah, so I play piano. That's my main instrument. You can see I got 2 pianos behind me.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I actually own 5 pianos now, which is
5?
yeah, 5. I own 5 pianos now. And some people might think that's a bit excessive, but like I think it's actually necessary, especially because I run a music school. And I play a lot of other instruments as well. Piano is my main love, and I love singing. But I also played violin as a kid, and then viola, and then oboe, and I taught myself how to play guitar, and I play ukulele, and I play bass guitar, and basically any instrument that you can kind of hand me, I can work out how to play, at least to, you know, a pretty decent level. I took up piano accordion just for the fun.
Wow.
And so yeah, like, you know, I love taking on new instruments because it gives me another tool for my songwriting. And I've written a few songs on piano accordion. I've written like quite a lot of songs on guitar, even though I don't think I've ever played guitar in public. And I've written a lot of songs on ukulele
right
as
there.
well. Yeah, well, it is a challenge, but yeah. I just don't feel anywhere near as confident playing and singing at the same time on guitar as I do on piano, because, like, you know, piano is my first love. I've been playing it since I was like big enough to climb up onto the piano bench. And yeah, so it's like all of my instruments are friends who help me um, help me be a bit more creative, help me come at things from a different perspective. And and I think that that's really important. As humans, we need to be able to see things from different points of view, because if we can't see things from different points of view, then we get very, very narrow-minded and stuck in one idea of how things should be. And then, like, if we're going through like an issue with our mental health, for example, and we're stuck like in this really narrow-minded way, then literally we can't see a way out of it. and so
right.
we get this tunnel vision. So it's really dangerous, I think, because it can lead us to a really, really dark place.
Right.
And that's one of the things that I've been really, really lucky to have, because as dark as things have gotten for me, and I'm talking like really very dark, like I stopped myself from driving off a bridge once. So but the fact that I actually stopped myself, that's the thing, right? Because I was able to see things from a different perspective. And right in that moment when I was about to drive myself off the bridge, I went, hang on, what will my kids do if I do this? And that was enough,
right.
just being able to see it from that other perspective. And yeah, so I went, okay, right, this is really unhealthy. I'm in a very, very bad place right now, and I need to do something about it. So yeah, as dark as things have gotten for me, there has always been a way out. Even though I couldn't always see the way out, I knew instinctively that there would be one somewhere. I just had to keep searching.
Good. I'm glad to hear. All right, Miss Nancy, tell you about yourself.
Yes, Nance, please. I
Nance,
prefer
sorry.
Nance. Okay.
I keep saying Nance. I'm sorry. I keep Nance.
I realized today, actually, when someone that I don't hardly ever speak to was like, "Hey, Nance, how's it going?" It just warmed all the cockles. It just warmed, and I was like, I do love it when people call me Nance. I love it. I just love it. So, so hi. And incidentally,
Hi.
I could hear you. I would love to just listen to you talk all day. The accent's so fantastic. I just can't.
The Australian accent.
Oh, it's so
Yes, I just
fantastic.
love it. I do too.
Jiminy Christmas. Oh, I love it. I'm a fan. Big fan. So I'm Nance, and I'm actually in a couple projects. And so I'm in Guilded Lily out of Tacoma. That's indie folk blues rock band. And then I'm also in a band called Bend. All lowercase, BEND with a period at the end. And so we are an indie emo band out of Bremerton, Washington. So in those two bands, yeah, we make music. We make original music, and we play our snazzy versions of covers in our own way. And so I was born and raised in El Paso, Texas, and I've been out here just over about 10 and a half years, probably, like nearing 10 and a half. I'm in my 10th year in Washington State. And I'll say that music has saved me many a time. Music heals, music saves. It's the go-to, and I would die if I didn't have music, whether it's playing it, humming it, singing it, whistling it, snapping my fingers. And I will tell you that once upon a time in 2020, I had injuries to my fingers, such that, including like a couple fractures, that avulsion and hairline, that I couldn't snap my fingers for almost 7 months. And so being in a band where like there's finger snaps that I would play regularly, to go from that to not being able to snap my fingers or use any fingers except for these for a long period of time, it can mess with your mind. And so I've yeah so I've had, as everyone, I've had my fair share of mental health challenges. PTSD, acute anxiety disorder. But I've had bouts of depression and have dealt with that. I've dealt with trauma that ranges from helping a motorcyclist that lost a game of chicken with a box truck, and he was wearing a helmet, but he wasn't wearing a motorcycle jacket.
Ugh.
And so it's funny when you don't realize that what happens, when you, yeah. And so everything from that to domestic violence, to different forms of abuse, to suicide of someone really close to me, music's been there through every step of it. And so super important. And I don't know, I'd almost offer that in a weird way, anyone who makes music is providing a form of mental health, because someone who listens to it, even if they're doing it for themselves, it's definitely therapeutic and it's definitely healing. Whether it's motivating you, I Bleed by Meshuggah is a song that I listen to when I am just mad, when I'm mad and I need to just clean because I'm so mad and infuriated. I love to listen to Bleed. I love to listen to Lamb of God. I love to listen to, I've got my metal stuff. I've got my old Metallica. I've got my punk go-tos, my Fishbone. I've got stuff I listen to help calm and center me when I'm not calm and centered. And then there's songs I listen to support my mental health when I'm feeling at like my lowest low. And that ground level is like so far up from where I'm at that I don't think I'll ever be able to reach. I've got songs that are go-to, and then within all of that, the songwriting has been a great source of acceptance, healing, comfort.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. All right. And I am Shels. I am the host of this Let's Talk About the Music. This show has been going on since 2015 to 2018 till I decided to place it on hold for my own mental health. I was homeless for quite some time. Why after I put the show on hold, I was finally diagnosed of borderline personality disorder towards the end of 2019. I was in college for past 6 years. I'm getting ready to graduate, and this actually December this month right here. And so thank you. It was a big achievement, and so I also had a lot of intruders thoughts, depression, all through my life. I've been put down, chewed out, emotionally abused. I am slowly seeing a friend of mine, and he's been showing me that there is other people out there besides just what I've been through. So I'm slowly coming out. I've been to therapy treatment through my therapist for the past 4 years since I found her, and yeah, so I understand mental health. I've been dealing with it all my life. Even though I am where I am right now, I'm still dealing with stuff in my head. Head chatter is a nightmare. And one of my therapists said I had to do was write things down in a journal. I have it in my phone, so if I have something, I just put it there, and I don't rant on Facebook anymore. Yay for achievement on that one. So,
Shels,
and now I'm healthy. Huh?
can I ask you a question?
Sure.
I know this is not scripted, but how did getting your diagnosis change things for you?
A lot. Because the therapy I was going to, they all said, well, you're either bipolar or you're anxiety attack disorder. And so I was diagnosed anxiety attack disorder for years, since 2012 until 2019. And someone suggested that I go to this one therapist to really see what's going on, because I recently fired the last one I saw. And it's like, okay, I had nothing better to do besides school, so okay, I'll go see this one therapist. And he was seeing me for only about a month or two, and I was seeing him doing the thing, and all of a sudden I had a major rant. And I ranted to a friend of mine's email, and I sent it to my therapist, and he was just like, He emailed me, goes, wait a minute. Wait. Come into my office. Here's my appointment. Schedule it. So I showed up and he asked me, he goes, what do you have? What do people say you had? I go, bipolar or anxiety attack disorder. He goes, no, you don't have any of that stuff. You have borderline personality disorder. Like, what is that? I got so scared that I never heard of this before. I texted somebody and she goes, I knew it. I knew what was going on with you. I'm like, but what is it? So I had to do my own research and figure out what it is. And I was terrified on some of the levels that borderline had. And and then when I finally started to realize, oh, it's okay just the way things are, I had to find me a special therapist who actually can handle or treat borderline personality disorder. And I even have it documented that I am this disorder. And it made more sense. More I did the exercises, more I did learn about it. It made more sense, more click. And I just changed things around how I presented things. I did the work. So
Good for
yeah, so
you.
it was a long, hard, painful ride, but I am here.
Well, good for you for your. I
Thank,
applaud your stick with itness.
thank you very very much. Thank you.
Yeah, a lot of
Uh,
people talk about like labels are not useful, but I actually think that having a label for whatever condition that you have or whatever you're
mm-hmm.
actually going through is actually really helpful. I know it was very helpful for me because then you can do the research, like you can look up, okay, well, is this thing that I have, like, is that connected with all of these things that have been happening in my life? And you can
Right,
find the connection. B, you can really start understanding yourself a lot better. And C, I think that you can start being kinder to yourself because instead of saying, oh, I'm a reprehensible human being or I'm terrible at this and whatever, you can start saying to yourself, this is how my brain is wired. This is the condition that I have. And that's why things are like that. It's not an excuse, but it's
right,
an understanding of why
right,
things are like that. And the first step, I think, to making a change is understanding yourself first.
right. You gonna say something, Nance? No.
No.
Okay. You had a thought there. I saw your face, like, well,
No, because no, I just see. No, I have a typhoon of thoughts and ideas in my head 24/7. So it's kind of
yeah, I
blessing
hear
and
you.
curse. It's great for songwriting, but someone says something, I see something, I hear something, and my brain just immediately like, you know how you can hear
Yes,
someone talk about something and then you think of a movie or you think of a line of a movie or a line of a song or you think of a song. So yeah,
yes,
so like,
Nance, your brain sounds a lot like my brain.
right. And
so
so in I was telling you guys in the backstage is that when I started really breaking down is when I was dealing with three deaths in the family. One, Helen knows about Chris now, Winter's End, and then also after that my dad died, and then 2 weeks after that my mom died. So I was dealing with three deaths in the family, and then also realizing that my old show is definitely gone. So I didn't have the capacity to rebrand it, rebuild it, to do something different now because my mind wasn't there yet. And so I ranted and had my breakdown, my last breakdown I ever had. And then my friend Nance knows who this person is. He was going to be here, but he's not able to be on podcast yet. BJ Shea, who used to be on KSW and the other station, he and I became friends. We started talking about mental health. I didn't know he had a mental issue. He had a anger issue, and someone told him to go fix himself. So he basically turned his lesson into me, and so we started talking about mental health. And he told me, how many times do you see your therapist? I was like, well, I'll see her once a month. He goes, no, up it every 2 weeks. So I did. And then he introduced me to The Work. So thework.com, I'll give more information on it. And it's a woman, I can't think of her name. I should have her pulled up. I'll pull up her in a second. She basically helps you reprogram your thoughts. Instead of how dare they do this to me? No, change around that they did this for you. And how can you work through this treatment? And how can you grow from this thing? So instead of pointing your finger at somebody, well, stop. What do they do for you? Well, I went down the list. And then after that, I basically turned things around, like how my mental health was. Well, how bad was I to everybody else? Well, I was paying in the ass to people because I didn't understand. So that's where I started to regrow my thoughts and all that stuff. So thanks to therapy and BJ and all that stuff. So anyway, so that's my and the music scenery. Yes, music has been a lifesaver. I'm a big fan of New Kids on the Block. They basically saved my butt back when I was little. Um, I was not a New Kids on the Block fan for yet, but my cousins got me involved with them after I saw the Hanging Tough video. They also said they sponsor positivity, and so when I saw Donnie Wahlberg talk about positivity toward the end of Hanging Tough video, I was like, well, change good thoughts to positive thoughts. Like, how do you do that? So I started changing my thoughts back in high school. And so every time I get into such a situation, I do listen to New Kids on the Block. I do listen to Enya. I listen to all sorts of different music. It all depends on what I'm in for. So, but I love the 80s. So, yeah.
I feel like I'm the odd one out here because like when I want to dig deep and like really feel something or like ground myself, I listen to Beethoven.
Oh my gosh. I didn't think of that.
Nothing wrong with that. Classical
No,
music.
I
I
didn't
don't
think of
think
that
there's
at
anything
all.
wrong with it. I just think I'm the odd one out because you're all
Yeah,
mentioning
no, nothing wrong with that.
bands
Like,
and stuff, and I'm like, yeah, classical music girl.
no,
Yeah, I
you're good.
listen
I
to
don't
India
know
a lot.
what's the name of it. I don't know the name of it, but the classical piece from the movie Seven, is one of my favorites. It's it's in the library scene, I'm pretty sure, but that specific, and I think it's Mozart. I want to say I don't think it's Beethoven. I think it's Mozart.
I'm
Helen,
gonna have to look that up now because I've seen that movie, but I don't remember what the piece is.
But it has a build, and it's just, oh, it's the dun 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 dun.
That's Beethoven. That's the second movement of the Seventh Symphony.
Okay.
Yeah, that one.
And it builds and it crescendos.
Yes.
And then so when you listen to that, so that's a song you can listen to like before you run a 5K or you go into battle. It relaxes you and then it pumps you up because you're just like, like,
that's absolutely, yeah.
There's an app that a therapist told me to use called Insight Timer. I pulled it right here. It has a lot of great quotes and all that stuff. But there's also music and meditation in his thing. And I've been with this thing for since I met her. And believe it or not, Moby is in this.
Yeah.
Moby, the musician, the rock star musician, Moby is in this. And it's like, I got Moby all bookmark and all this stuff. But this has actually been helping me out going through my therapy treatment. I mean, I had songs like Coming, music coming out, you're bumped up, heart chakra, just want to sleep, inner power, abundance, slow down, love, anxiety. It all has certain things that I need and I listen to this while I'm sleeping. And it helps me calm my thoughts down because if I don't shut my brain down, I am up for hours and hours making gosh knows what kind of scenarios I'm going to think of next. It's just crazy. It's just nuts. So Yeah, I had to have something to shut my brain up. So yeah.
It's and there's some people that don't use music, but they use noise, white noise, brown noise,
Yes.
brown noise,
Yes.
ASMR, mindfulness exercises or meditation. Yeah, however you need to get your calm, there's even a calm app. But however you need to get your calm, get your calm. Yeah, it's
Absolutely.
important.
All right. Right. Now, you two ladies, so we're going to change it to your music. You guys wrote some songs. I did listen to your guys' music today. You did it too? Yeah. Okay, cool. I listened to it while I was doing my homework. And it was like, and I love Helen's mirrors. Yes, mirrors. And you had that song like forever. Every time I hear that song, my heart just go, oh. And
So,
so anyway,
okay. So my two favorites, they were so first it was like diamonds, but then pins and needles. And so I was like,
yes.
there's a tie. Both of
Yes.
them, they made it to the top of the podium. They both medaled. They both got on the podium, both of them.
Thank
I love
you.
them for different reasons. Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, what was that one? Oh no, Be There. It was Be There. Be There is always the one that I that's how I found you on from Winter's End is Be There. And that song just hits my heart chakra. This is like, I'll be there for you. Okay, I can't sing. But that is just like amazing. And I did listen to your new one. It was Pins and Needles. Yeah, that was that was a good thing that I listened to. And you, Miss Nance, I gotta get into the player. And those who are listening and watching, oh no, don't do that. Wrong button. I will have their music on the blog, so that is definitely gonna happen. So I have the one that got me. I had to stop what I'm listening to. Let me make sure about the thing didn't go into anywhere else. Was Release Me and Pretty Princess.
It's release, just release, not release me, just release.
Really, Pretty Princess.
No, release. The name
Oh,
of the song's
Release.
called Release, not release me.
Oh,
It's called Release.
Release. Okay,
Yeah.
I add things to people's
Okay.
things. So
It's not, I feel like one of the bands is always going to be Guided Lily for you, regardless. So it's all good. It's all gravy. It's all good.
I also have a speech impediment, and so when I see things, that's how I pronounce things. I have a habit of changing bands names. I have a story for you guys. Okay, I have a story for you guys for band names. So people don't
It's
know
all
me from
good.
the original one. No, I got a
I
story for you
love
guys.
you. I love
There was a
you.
band. I love you too, but I got a story you guys gonna love. You guys are gonna laugh at this. Everyone's gonna laugh at this. So there was a band out in New York. They call themselves Spells and Curses, which I thought was fantastic. They are still a fantastic band. Well, they come on the show, and I accidentally, what not even think about it, I call them Spells and Kisses. And he just rolled with it. So I have an issues when I see things. That's how I pronounce it. So I'm trying to say Guided Lily, but it's gonna come out something else. So I don't mean to. I promise you, I don't mean to. But
It's all good. It's
good,
I love
good.
it. It's, you know what? It's endearing. I love it. It's a
So
thing.
it is. So anyway,
It's
so
pretty,
that's my
so pretty.
story.
Yeah, pretty
Pretty,
princess. That's punk song.
yes.
Our punk ditty. It's our little
So
Captain Morgan punk ditty in Bend. Yeah.
perfect. So what I want to do is that I'm gonna start with Helen. Let me know how did you come up with Be There and Pins and Needles, since that's both mine and her favorite song.
Well, which one first? Be There?
Yeah, Be There.
Or,
Why not? Go for it.
okay, so Be There, I wrote that when my friend Ali unfortunately lost her mother, and it was very, very sad, and it was quite sudden and dramatic and very, very awful. And she was very young to be losing her mum as well. And I just didn't know what to do that could help her through it. And I literally just started writing how I felt about the situation. And so the first lines of the song are, I know you're hurting and I just don't know what to do. Your heart's been broken. Your whole world's been turned upside down. I can't fix what's happened or heal this raw wound, but I hate seeing you like this. Like, that was literally, it was like it was a letter to her. And that's how I felt. And I just wanted to be able to hold her and tell her that, well, not that it was going to be okay, because, you know, after you lose your mum, and you would know, Shels, you know, you don't feel like anything ever be okay again. But that's why, instead of it being, you know, tell you that it's okay, because I never say that in the song, it's hold you tight to stop you falling apart. And that's what I want to do, because at that time I was actually in a pretty good headspace, but she was falling apart, and I was like trying desperately to help her pick up the pieces. And so I really wanted to include that song on the album, because even though most of the songs are about my journey with my own mental health issues, that song is about me being on the other side of it, and really trying to be a good friend, and trying to be someone who is supportive and empathetic. So that's where it came from. Literally, the words just flowed out of me like I was writing a letter, and I wrote it really quickly. So that's that one. Yeah. Pins and Needles, that one was written as part of the I Heart Songwriting Club. So the theme that week, so yeah, I've been in the I Heart Songwriting Club for just under a decade. It's been in operation for a decade, and I joined about 6 months into it. So I'm one of the founding members. It was very small when I started. We did the whole thing over email, but now it's massive and it's international, and and it's a fantastic resource that any songwriter who feels like they need a little bit of accountability. But anyway, I digress. So we have a weekly theme, and that week the theme was pins and needles, and I was like, oh, I don't really know what I'm going to write here. Because I try and keep up with the weekly songwriting themes, and that really helps me with my songwriting practice. And sometimes the songs that I write in this club end up being things that end up on an album, or go into my live set. And and this one was like, oh, well, what do I feel about pins and needles? Well, I guess it's like that excitement. Like, it's a prickly excitement when something is new, when something is turning around. And I thought, well, maybe this can be about how I feel now that my mental health is starting to turn around, and I'm starting to feel like I'm living again. That's what it was about. So that's why we have in the chorus, you know, moving forward to where life can now begin. So I had been previously, like, very much, you know, stuck on the couch, wallowing in depression and feeling very, very low. And when I started writing that song, it was about all of the positive things, all of the exciting things that I was starting to feel, and noticing the change in me and the change around me as well. Yeah. Cool. So that's what that one's about.
Cool. All right, Nance. So tell us about Release, and what was the other one? Pretty Princess. Yeah.
Pretty Princess. Okay. Well, and I have to say, it's funny because I'm really literal, Helen. And so when I heard pins and needles, you know, like the part, you know, like the choral part, you know, the non lyrical part. So what I walked away with that song was like, you know how when your foot falls asleep or something falls asleep, like a limb falls asleep, and there's stuff you want to do, and you're about to get up but you can't, and then it's that feeling that you get when you start to like move it or touch it, that it's really intense.
Yes.
So for me, when I heard that song, I went to like, the recollection of like, you're laying on the couch or you're doing something, and all of a sudden, oh, mother, my foot's asleep. And then you need to get up and leave. So you get up, and that first little ting to make you know for sure that your foot's asleep, those pins and needles give you that sound that was a little, and then, but once you get through that part that makes you almost want to sound like that makes you want to make noises, it's going to be okay, and then you're going to be able to get up and at it and do the things that you need to do or want to do. That's yeah. So that's what your song did for me. So like,
because that's like, basically I was using the pins and needles as a metaphor, and you've gone the other side of that with the literal interpretation. So yeah, love it.
So okay, so I'll say that. Okay, so here's what. Jiminy Christmas. So because I'm literal, I'm down for. I love how when someone you could have three people hear a song, and they could all hear something different, could all take something away from it, and
That's
so I love that. I love how any song that I've written, whatever it means to that individual, to that listener, that's what that song's about, because that's whatever resonated with the listener or spoke to them or moved them or turned on a light, inspired them, whatever. That's what it's about. That's what it was about for them, which makes that what the song's about. And so it's super important because there's no right or wrong, right? And so what I'll say is that release actually, the idea for release came when I was laying on the bed when it was storming outside in Washington, and the wind was blowing so hard that I love the sound of wind chimes. And
oh yeah,
so I brought in the wind chime from the outside porch, or I don't even remember where it was. It was somewhere outside, but I just remember hearing the wind chime going like, it didn't even sound like wind chimes because poor thing, it sounded like, some sort of like chicken in distress. It was just bad. So I brought the wind chime in and I hung it on a hook in the bedroom, like right above my nightstand. And so I'm laying there. And so the beginning of the song is talks about the wind is hard outside. As far as I can see, the wind blows hard outside as far as I can see, starts to stir up all these thoughts in me. And so, you know how sometimes you daydream, you could just be laying down doing nothing or just enjoying like a Sunday afternoon or an evening, enjoying weather. And then all of a sudden, something just triggers like a memory, a thought, a trauma, a something. And so what release speaks to in the chorus is center, breathe, welcome, don't deny the thoughts so they can slowly leave. And so in 2022, there was a series of like just varying traumatic events. And so release is on an EP called Middle Finger Musings. And there's a local super talented musician in the Pac Northwest named Peter Tiagen, who wrote the drum parts because the Guilded Lilly drummer was still not okay from Troy's death, and then the guy who did the engineering and who did the mixing wrote the bass part because there wasn't a bass part for that song. There was a guitar part, and so the writer of that original guitar part, we kept it exactly the same out of respect for that other original Guilded Lilly founding member who's no longer a part of the band, and wrote it. And the reason that it's on there was, it's an important message. Back then I was doing, I was going to Elements of Sunshine to get my chakras lined up because my chakras were all messed up. It's why my fingers weren't healing. I started cold water plunging. I was doing everything that every suggestion that any friend or acquaintance, couple foes had with where I should go or what I should do or what I should try, ready writing, journaling, mindfulness exercises, the cold water plunging, the Reiki healing, massage, hypnotherapy, in addition to regular therapy. Like, I tried everything. I didn't discount any type of practice that someone else subscribed to or believed in, because I thought, you know what, I'm gonna try it. Then that way I'll know if it works for me or if it doesn't. And if it doesn't, then I just won't do it anymore. But if it does, I'll keep doing it. And so that's what release is about. And so oftentimes what we tend to do from a mental health space is we tend to shove stuff down. We tend to, if you don't acknowledge it's there, well, then I don't have to worry about it. And just like eventually chickens come home to roost, stuff ends up, you'll end up having to deal with it eventually, right? And so release is about, you know what? Sit down with it, breathe, center yourself, no matter what it is, because it's grief, trauma, rage, anger, sadness, despair. All of those, although at the time they seem insurmountable and just crazy, they're temporary. And so if you just, sometimes though, acceptance is necessary in order for you to be able to move on. Sometimes a really good friend of mine, Raymond Mousted from Cockphonics, said, he posted on Facebook once in 2022, sometimes the only way on the other side of something is through it. And it's true. And so release speaks to that. And so, so there's, there's that. That's release in a nutshell. And that's a song. Yeah, that's a song that we perform. So present day Guilded Lily, because we have Jess, our new violinist, and we have Wolfie on drums and Nick on bass guitar and Victor, who wrote the bass line. The way we do that song is different now than the recording. I think it's better the way we do it now, because everyone has interpreted the lyrics to their situation, and they're playing what they feel, and you can feel that they're playing what they feel, and I'm singing what I feel, and so it's a whole, it's not just a snack, it's a whole meal, and so that one's great. And then Pretty Princess for Bend. And here's a fun fact that folks might not realize. So Guilded Lily was formed by myself and another gentleman back in like 2018. And then in 2022, we went separate ways. And then Troy said, let's melt spaces. Let's do Guilded Lily. So we did Guilded Lily. And we started little and then kept getting gigs, and it was great. And then when he died on August 14th, 2022, the other surviving members of Guilded Lily, Brandon and Dan, the B and the D of Bend, met and decided, let's, for various and sundry reasons, let's not continue as Guilded Lily. Let's continue as a different band. And so Guilded Lily in 2022 became Bend. Fun fact. Yeah. So Bend wrote Pretty Princess. And the way that we write is someone comes up with a noodle. They're just playing around with a riff on bass. Brandon, typically it's with his guitar. And then I get the green light to start making up lyrics around the noodle, and that's how we write songs. And we write a lot of songs that way. They're all noodle based, and then they just take on their living, breathing parts of us, and then we all put our part in, and then that's how the song's created. Pretty Princess, straight up, is a song about the other original founder of Guilded Lily. His nickname was Pretty Princess. Former fiance of mine, for I think almost 5. I don't know. I think we were together almost 5 years. and one of his nicknames was Pretty Pretty Princess. And so that song is about him. And there was so the way that song came to be was I went to a really good friend, Mira's house, and she's an amazing singer-songwriter, an amazing, her finger picking. Look up Mira Cat or Mira Tomlinson, her finger picking and her songwriting skills. Oh, she's epic. And I went to her house to hang out with her and her dog, and she was playing, and we were just playing around with songs she hadn't quite finished, and she was playing this noodle, and then I started thinking about Pretty Pretty Princess, and you had me now gone, it's time to move along. Because at the time there was like, some people varying degrees of can't just move on, and so that song literally is about a person who was in my life and I thought was an important part of my life, but then they weren't, not by my choice, and so I accepted it. And so literally it's you had me now gone, it's time now, move along. And so that Pretty Pretty Princess paid a lofty toll. I think and then it varies between she and he, just because it's a play, because sometimes you could be a grown-ass man acting like a little girl and not owning up to your stuff.
Yes, you do.
And so yep, and so straight up, Pretty Pretty Princess, if you know who I used to be engaged to once upon a time in my life, Pretty Pretty Princess is straight up about that person. And so it's the first verse and the third verse are the same, because sometimes you gotta repeat yourself, because sometimes in order for it to hit home, you gotta say it again. And it's it's a punk song, because I am punk at heart. Fishbone for life. By the way, let me just throw in Ruz Kaja is a Russian, like, kind of punk, kind of ska band. But so I'm punky at heart. And so we did Bend. It just came out punk. And it's our punk ditty. Kind of think Captain Morgan with his leg up on a barrel, on like a little, like, yeah, short little barrel. And it's it's kind of like there's a thing about, couldn't look straight in the mirror, because Pretty Pretty Princess is consumed by the truth in his lies. Yup.
Okay. Nice.
I reckon
It had
that-
me feel
Pretty
Sorry,
therapeutic
yeah,
for me. I don't know. and so, well, what I'll say though is that I wrote that song in 2022. And so you know how some breakups are messy and public
Yes.
and nasty?
Yes.
Okay. So this
Yes.
one was. And so in the space where, trying to sell a house, trying to just move on, trying to just, just trying to just pick
Move
up,
on.
just trying to pick up pieces. And I wasn't even at a space yet where I hit acceptance of what truly happened. But it was just a way to release, like, it was just everything I was hearing, everything I was being, the whispers, things I was being told, things I was seeing about
Yeah.
things, and so it was just like, for the love of freaking George. And so I got it out, and I never told anybody at first that what it was about. It was just about a Pretty Pretty Princess, and it was just a pirate ditty. And Bend performed it for the first time at the Gravel Pit in Tacoma. It's a DIY live. It's a live music venue, and it's so great. If you haven't been or you haven't played, you should. You should definitely reach out to Shane Morey. And so it was February of 23, and it was cold outside, so we did the show in the living room of the gravel pit because it's a house, and that was one of the songs we did, and it was cool to see everybody engaged and digging it, and nobody knew what it was about or who it was about. They just thought it was about a pretty princess, and so through therapy and through time and healing and acceptance, there was a minute where I was like, I don't want to do that song. I just don't want to do that song. I don't want to give any credit to someone that was just bleh. And
Yeah, I
so
hear
in the last, maybe, I don't know, probably gosh, I think maybe since October of last year, probably it took it was about a good 6 months, 7 months before. No, that's not true. It took longer. I think we've been playing it with me being past it probably for about 6 months now, and it's just
Okay.
now it's a song, and now it's a song about it doesn't it's a song that I wrote where it's oh yeah, someone effed around and they found out, buy the ticket, ride the ride. That's and that's kind of but it's a cool song. It's our punk song, so I dig it.
Yeah.
And yeah.
Yeah, well, for me, I did hear the Pretty Princess because that's what I thought it was about, a pretty princess. So you're on with that one. But the release, when I hear that, I keep saying release me because I felt I was releasing myself in the energy from your song. Because when you started talking about the chakra, last December around Christmas, I did see one of my friends who I got myself I have a reading every 6 months, one for my birthday and one for the end of the year. Well, a friend of mine here, she basically did a chakra energy on me. I didn't know she can do chakra. So she goes, your energy is so whacked out. Stand up. And so she literally just did all this chakra thing all over me and twist here and there. And I went home and I threw up because that all the energy was so in my stomach and in my head. And I slept for a week. Thank God I had no class or didn't have to work. But I slept for a week and I felt better. And I'm
Good.
just like,
Good.
what happened? It just I felt like a new person, but I remember everything was what happened. I just feel like everything got put back in place. Everything I went through, and I was able to see things.
Good.
So, or see better, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah.
So
No,
I
that's
basically, yeah. So the song release was just I get that song.
yep. That's good. I'm glad. And
Yeah.
and so, the if you're gonna look the song up anywhere that you stream music, you would look up release. However, for you, release me, it's a good mantra for you. And so
Yeah.
if you're feeling tight, if you're feeling that's a song now that that you can listen to because you've made a mental marker for yourself of, if any part of me needs a release, I can go to that song and maybe I'll feel better.
Yeah. Yeah. And then with pins and needles, I thought, to me, I've been on pins and needles for on some people for a while, trying to start this podcast in my life. So when I heard that, when I felt like I was on pins and needles trying to do things what I want to do with my life. So that's where I got that from. So
Nice.
Yeah.
yeah. But
I love
yeah, I
how
actually
find our own way to relate to everything based on our own experiences. Like everyone brings their own piece of themselves
yes, they
to
do.
the art. And yeah, so yeah, and I love that. Like everyone has their own perspective. But then it's really interesting hearing where a song has come from. Because yeah, exactly, like Pretty Princess, I had no idea it was about an ex-fiance. But yeah, you get this additional perspective, and then it helps you to be able to see it from both your own point of view,
Yeah.
and from your own perspective, and then put yourself in the songwriter's shoes as well, and then be able to see it from how must they have been feeling at that time. And yeah, I love doing that. I love finding out, what is the story behind the song, and then it just gives you an extra layer of depth that you can put in your own understanding of it. Yeah.
Now you got Easter eggs, so now you're gonna go back and listen to Pretty Pretty Princess and be like,
Oh yes.
oh, hey, yeah. And it's, but it's not, it's just it's a song, and it's still subject to interpretation, which is fantastic and great. And yeah, but that's the E True Hollywood story on that one. So there you go.
How many of us have had relationships though? Like, so many people have had a toxic or like a relationship that was really bad for them, and like being up as well a long time ago, but and then being able to step out of that and look back and be able to say that this song reminds me of when I said goodbye to that person, and when I started to move forward into my new life.
Yep. Been there, done that. Yeah.
Got the t-shirt.
I burned that t-shirt.
Wait, that's what I was about to say, man. I did a burn ceremony for mine. Jeez. Wait, no, just kidding. No, but it's as far as music goes, everyone just like, music's so great, and even right now, if you need, it's there for whatever you need.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Now I pulled up some songs that is very famous, like 26 songs about mental health. And I'm going to see if you guys actually remember any of these songs. I'm not going to pull the screen over here. Let's see here. We know about Blink 182, Adam's song. You guys know about that one?
I don't know.
Really? Okay.
I'm not a Blink 182 listener.
Okay, fine. All right. So there's another one. Wilson Phillips, Hold On. I guess that song was about mental health. Yes.
Hang on. I will show you how much I love that song.
She's gonna sing.
Where is it? It's here somewhere.
While she's looking for that, I'll continue down the list.
You know what I just found myself doing when she peeked out? I found myself going like that to try to see if I could like see. Oh my God.
We're gonna help her find it.
Man, I'm such a dork. Oh my gosh. Okay.
All right. We also got Green Day, Blanket Case. Oh, she got it. Oh my gosh. Yeah. Oh, sheet music.
The sheet music. This is how much I loved this song when it came out. I bought this. It cost me $5.10 Australian, and back then that was a lot of money for a single sheet. And because what year did this come out?
Oh, I don't know. Let me look it up. Hang on a minute.
I can't remember.
Oh, like 1990.
There we go. 1990.
Oh, 90. Wow. Okay.
1990. Wow. I had saved up all of my busking money, and I went to the music shop and ordered this in, and it took me weeks for it to arrive. That's how much I love this song.
You should frame it.
But then I can't play it.
Yes, true. And how many times have you played that song over and over again?
Oh, so many.
Hero.
Actually,
but the next song you said, but Green Day.
Sorry, I was going to say, this goes back to what we were talking about before with like having another level of understanding of the song. Like, I thought that it was just, about, this, positivity and all of this sort of stuff, and, caring for each other and, just hold on and everything will be okay. And then I discovered that it was actually about like the songwriter's battle with addiction.
Yeah. It's
So
an uplifting song about pushing through and through a tough time. The song was written by Phyllis during a dark time in her life when she was battling abuse. Yeah, substance abuse.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah, and then yeah, that was like, oh wow, okay, that's really heavy. And then it made me even connect to the song more, even though, like, you know, that's not something that I personally have been through. But then I was like, oh wow, like for her to have had the strength to write this when she was going through such a dark time, like it just made it so much more powerful for me. And I love it even more if that is possible. I love this song.
Right. You're so adorable. That's what we were gonna say.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
Blink,
sorry,
Green.
and apologies, Helen. I got all excited. No, I was saying that the next song that you mentioned, I
Green Day?
have put on repeat, and Bend has played Green Day live.
But it's called Bucket Case. Basket Case.
Basket Case, yeah,
Yeah.
like we've done it lounge style, so we did it all cheesy, all like Richard Cheese style, and yeah, like yeah, I like Green. I'm a Green Day fan. That I like that one.
Yeah, that song is discussed by anxieties and paranoia of the songwriter. Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, we go down the thing. I don't know who those people are. We'll go back down. We know about Blink, we know about Linkin Park, Heavy,
Mm-hmm.
who was famous for all of his stuff. I feel so horrible for that guy. When I hear Linkin Park, hear Chester sing, I can actually feel and hear his struggles with his mental health. And I watch his when I watch his video, like man, I want to give you a hug, man. I understand what you're going through. So that's when I
Yeah.
hear his songs and see him. And also Numb. Let's see here.
I love
Uh,
Numb. That's
yeah,
such a
and
great
also
banger.
yeah, The Doors. People Are Strange. Addressing feelings of I don't know what word it is, and being alienated and being on the outsider. And then also John Lennon, Isolation. A candidate look at feeling of vulnerability and loneliness. So
Yeah.
there's more on your list, but those are the ones I actually picked out. So
Also, are there a couple that you weren't familiar with? I'm just curious if maybe we might be. You never know.
oh, okay. Well, we know about Lincoln Park. Lincoln Park is like all over the place, so we know about that one. We got Division. She
Joy
lost
Division.
control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All
Joy
right.
Division is like sad core.
Oh,
Absolutely.
really? Now I gotta listen to the music now. I'll add it to
Like
the playlist.
yeah. Oh yeah. Like
Yeah, I guess the She Lost is a post punk song track divides onto the loss of a control due to mental health challenges influenced by the lead singer and personal struggles. Alrighty, and so we also got the Beatles. I Want to Hold Your Hand. I didn't know that song was a mental health thing.
Neither did I.
It, yeah, it's a primarily of a a love song. It also speaks to a need of connection and reassurance when someone is feeling down.
Hmm.
Huh. And I
That's
gotta
true.
listen to that song now and
We,
have a different feeling for it.
we all need that physical touch.
Yeah, yeah. Also the Rolling Stones, Paint It
Paint It Black.
Black. Yeah,
Yeah. Da 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 da
yeah.
da da da.
There's a phenomenal cover of that song actually by Kate Miller Heidke, who's an Australian independent artist, or she used to be signed to a major label, but she's independent now. And yeah, it is insane, absolutely insane. So yeah, look that one up if you can. She's
Yeah.
amazing.
I've heard. Yeah, I
Okay.
haven't heard. I've heard of that song before, but I haven't heard it recently. So now I gotta go back and listen to that song now. So, alrighty, and there's also Pink Floyd and Comfortable Numb.
Yep.
That song was interpreted as a description of feeling alienated, numbness, and disconnection from reality.
Yeah. From The Wall.
Yeah.
Yep. And you
There's
can play
also
that. You can play that while the Wizard of Oz is going. Just saying, it lines up. I'll let you know. Test
okay.
it. Test.
I will test it out. I will test it out. Also the Who. The Who has a song called Behind Blue Eyes.
Yep.
The song speaks to feelings and loneliness and a mask people wear behind their pain.
Yep. I'll offer that the movie Tommy, that's a whole Who. It's a whole deep dive into some. Yep.
There's some pretty dark stuff going on in that.
Yep, I hear you. 3 Days Grace. I never heard of that band before. 3 Day Grace, but it's song called Pain.
Yep.
I don't know that one.
Okay.
3 Days Grace, I think, came out in the space of like on the tail end of like Nickelback,
Okay.
like ending of Nickelback. It's yeah. I think if you hear it, there's probably another song that was more commercially successful that probably would be the one that you'd be like, oh, yeah.
Are they kind of in the vibe as Creed? Like that kind of.
Yeah. And live. And yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I've heard the name of the band, but like I'm not familiar at all.
Okay.
I don't think they made it very big in Australia.
Alrighty. All right. So we also have Bob Dylan and Johnny Cash, The Girl from the North Country. Is a song but touches a sorrow and painful depression.
That's a musical now.
Is it really?
Yeah. They turned it into a jukebox musical, yeah. And it's called The Girl from the North Country.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I was today years old when I learned that. Thank you.
Yeah. Just here with all
today's old
musical theater facts.
Yeah.
Love it.
All right. There's also the Scrabs called Breaking Even. Am I thinking that pronounce that band right? The Scabs? Scripts?
How do you spell it?
SCRIPT.
The script.
Oh,
The Scripts. I knew I was pronouncing it wrong. Sorry.
Oh, you're fine. I'm sure they're okay. Oh my God.
Breaking Even. It was a song addressing emotional pain and heartbreak.
I think the script had one hit in Australia, but I don't think it was that song.
See, same with yeah, okay, yeah. I'm waiting. I'm curious that you haven't mentioned a certain band. Okay, okay.
There's a particular song that I think is one of my number one songs about mental health, and actually I felt like I was channeling it a little bit when I wrote Be There, so I'm interested to see if this comes up on the list. Okay. And then I'll tell you what it is.
Okay, I'm pretty sure Nance will also tell me the song that she's thinking about too.
Yeah.
It also mocks Matchbox 20, Unwell.
Yeah.
It's about dealing with internal struggles and feeling not quite right. We have a 9 Inch Nails, Hurts.
Yeah.
That song is covered in 2002 by Johnny Cash, dealing with deep pain and depression and self-harm.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going way back to Simon and Garfunkel. That was A Sound of Silence, touching on feeling and alienated and isolation.
Which has also been redone recently.
Is it really? Okay. There's REM, Everybody Hurts. We know that song. REM.
Yeah.
That was the first song I learned to play on the guitar.
Oh,
really?
Nice. Yeah.
That song was a song reminding those in despair that they're not alone. Oh. Now, this musician is from Australia. Is Sia? Did I say her name right? Sia? C? SIA?
That's Sia.
Sia. Hello. I'm famous for this stuff.
Really?
Breathe. It's called "Breathe Me."
I love
Caption. Huh?
I love
Yeah.
that song.
A song's called "Caption," feeling of vulnerability and the longing of support in depression.
That song was actually used over the ending montage of the TV show 6 Feet Under on the very final episode. So the whole
wow.
like because 6 Feet Under was all about death. So because it was set in like a funeral director's business and all of that sort of stuff. So the very final episode, it's not a spoiler to say this. Basically, it shows everybody's deaths. Like all of the characters, and it goes through and shows how all of them died. And that song by Sia, "Breathe Me," was played underneath, underscoring that whole thing. And it is, can I just say, exquisite. Such a great piece of television. And like just the marriage of the music and the visuals, it's so emotional. Like I cannot watch it without bawling my eyes out.
See.
Wow.
Okay. Okay.
You okay?
Doesn't know what to say to that.
I'm just no, because I was like, wait, I didn't realize that was Sia. I was not into Sia when I saw because 6 Feet Under, that was a long time ago.
Yeah, it was.
I never watched it.
Like famous in doing chandelier and wearing the wig where no one can see her face and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. And so again, my brain went back to like, well, I remember like sitting with my mom watching 6 Feet Under, like on HBO or whatever, and then seeing the last episode. I saw that. I'm like, I saw that episode, Helen. I was there. But I didn't realize that was, again, today years old when I didn't know that was Sia. What the hell? Okay. Like, yeah, did you see this part of my head like just kind of go a little? Because like, yeah, I do not have no idea. Okay. Nope.
All right, so here's another one. This is by Logic. Logic is a phone number 1-800-923-8255. It was a number for a U.S. National Suicide Prevention Line. The song disseminates the struggles with suicidal thoughts. Jimi Hendrix, manic depression. It's Jimi Hendrix. The song was about raw portrayal of ups and downs of bipolar. I didn't know you had a bipolar. And there is Don Leland, Vince. The singer called. And the song is divided into the middle of Vince Van Gogh, who is believed to have suffered from several mental issues. So that's everything in here. I mean, most of the songs we have Linkin Park in there, so I didn't really go through Linkin Park because there's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 songs about Linkin Park, and we already know all those songs. I didn't really just go into the details in all those songs. So I don't think any of the songs that you guys were thinking about was hit that list. So what was your guys' list?
Nance, go first. I'm really looking forward to hearing what you think should.
I want to hear yours, Helen. Come on.
Shels, who should go first?
Fair.
Nance. She squealed first.
No, actually, but okay. So we're gonna go Democratic, and both Helen and I are encouraging you to go first. We both vote you first.
Me? I don't have anything else to give you guys.
No. Was there a song that you thought of that wasn't on the list? We're just curious.
Oh. There is one that I did play. I had to search for it first. There was one that really hit me when I was actually going through my pain. So one of you guys go so that way I go find her and I'll let you guys know what it is. I promise you.
Okay,
I know that song is, and I should have got it ready and I did not. So
okay. So
one of you guys take over.
Okay, I'll go first then. Fine, fair enough. Okay. So not because it's not my song, Helen. However, I'm surprised that "Hate Me" by Blue October is not on that list.
Oh, I don't know that song.
Okay, and maybe that's why. So
I'm gonna have to look it up.
so the songs, yes, you should. You please do. So the song starts out with a record, like an actual voicemail message from the lead singer's mom to the lead singer, checking in on him to make sure he's okay because he suffered from major depression, and so the you know the it's sort of, when you hear the song, and I invite you to hear it, it's the I mean, there's so much. There's self-loathing. It's sort of like if he's looking at himself in the mirror, and just, his mom triggered like some trauma or some feelings, and he's looking at himself in the mirror while he's just singing. But then, and so then the chorus is hate me today, hate me tomorrow, hate me for all the things I ever did to you. And so then it's this like, while there's self-loathing, there's also regret, remorse, love. But he also could be singing to himself to say,
Yeah.
dude, I'm sorry that, like, oh my gosh, look how I've treated myself. Look how I've alienated myself from people that love me clearly and they care about me. And look what I'm doing. Like, it's, yeah. Super, super powerful song. So I'm surprised it's, yeah, super surprised it's not there.
Yeah. Well, my pick, and I'm really surprised that it's not there, is I'll Stand By You by the Pretenders.
Oh, okay.
Do you know that one?
I do. So, fun fact, the Pretenders opened for the Foo Fighters not too long ago, when the Foo Fighters did their last live show here in Seattle, and I was like right there. I got to see her live.
Yeah. Chrissy Hine's amazing.
Sung along with that song. It was like live band karaoke, but like, yeah, no, that is a good one.
Yeah. So like when I was writing Be There, I wanted it to have the same kind of vibe and connection that I felt with I'll Stand By You, because I felt like they address very similar themes, I thought.
Yeah, see, okay. That's yeah, okay.
Yeah. So yeah, it's like, someone saying, you've been through a really tough time. I see you're upset, you're sad, you're despondent, but I will stand by you. I will be there for you. So yeah.
I like it. I do. I like it. So for me, like, so I'm surprised that Blue October is not on the list, but like the one song for me, is oh, my mind just went blank. Is a Chris Cornell song? Or no, it's is it Chris Cornell or is it Audio Slave? Oh my gosh.
What's
I am
up?
not your rolling wind. I'm the highway. I am the highway. It's Audio Slave, but Chris Cornell sings it. And so for me, are you familiar with that song?
I probably would be if I heard it, but I'm terrible with song names. But I love Chris Cornell, and I've got an Audio Slave album. Is it on the first album?
I'm not sure. To be honest, that's
the first album. I've got it.
But it's this, like, long and weary my road has been, is how the song starts. And the chorus speaks of how I'm not your rolling wind, I'm the highway. I'm not your carpet ride, I'm not the lightning, I'm the highway. And it's just this, it's this, for me, it's a super powerful song, and it I loved it a lot. And then I loved it more when he died. And then I loved it even more when the meaning of the song sort of changed after Troy died, and then it meant something completely different once that I sang it at karaoke at Bob's Java Jive once, and it took a long time before I could even sing it because it's a hard song to sing. And a guy, that another musician, while I was singing the song, he came up on stage during my turn and thought it was okay to sing the song with me. Um, and it was a time in my life where I didn't have a voice, where I didn't think I had a voice, or I was afraid to use it and didn't set boundaries, and felt all these kinds of ways about, like, did I sing it bad? Like, why'd you come up here? It's my song. And then, therapy, acceptance, release. And then now that song for me is a really empowering song. And the lyrics, ever since that happened at that karaoke night, the lyrics they mean something different now. Because I had a chance to sing it when that same musician was there. And it was so weird because he stood there the whole time as I sang it. And it was sort of like my, you know,
A bit of a raised middle finger to him, perhaps.
oh, I was about to say, birds flying. Thank you. Birds flying, MFer. You know what? You know what? You didn't take my song away from me, and you didn't take the meaning away from me. I'm still here.
Yeah.
I'm the highway now.
Yeah.
And that song for me means like it means that I'm gonna get emotional. Holy hell. It's a super powerful song for me. Cause like, my road has been long and weary. And like it's a reminder that it doesn't happen what happens to you. What happens is what you do with what happens to you. And
Absolutely.
so people can effing knock you down. They can think they own you. They can get on stage with you while you're in the middle of singing a song. You can get disrespected, spat on, you can get lied to, you can get whatever. But they can't steal your shine. They can't, no one can dull your shine.
Exactly.
And only you someone dull your shine. And so like that, yeah, like I'm still here, still making music. And so like, yeah, like that that song is like, along with Master of Puppets by Metallica, it's at the very top of like my top 26 mental health songs. So there you go. Don't mind my tears, they'll go away. But
Shels,
Okay.
have you got that
Yeah,
song?
I cannot find the song. It's gonna drive me insane until I do find the song. I played the song. It was really, really touching. Um, I can tell you when I saw the music video, it meant completely different. So I can tell you until I find it. It's in my Facebook from like 2, 3 years ago when I first started my treatment. But the song was a female, and she was singing about her mental health, and the music video, how she was wrapping herself, hugging herself. That's gonna be okay. She was saying, "Okay, you are healing. Keep going. You're gonna be okay." And the music video was so powerful that I played it nonstop, and now I can't find it. But it was amazing, amazing piece of work, and it was. I will find it. I promise you, I'll find it eventually. Um, and so that song was amazing, and I just wish I could find that song for you guys.
well,
I want to say
maybe you
Aguilera,
weren't
but I
meant to
don't think it's
share it.
her. What?
Maybe you weren't meant to share it.
Maybe not. Maybe it was just for me to find it and such like that. But I really wanted to. To make any sense?
Well, you look. Hey, that's
Yeah,
half
I'm
the
looking.
battle. I appreciate the
I'm
credit.
looking right now for it. But yeah. So yeah, that song was so amazing, and the way that she voiced her own struggles and how the music video allowed her to hug herself. That's going to be okay. You are going to just be fine. Just keep going and hug yourself because you just need that. You just need to hug yourself. You're going to be okay. So
I like it. I
That
tried, man.
was.
I was trying so hard to make sure I didn't cry. I'm such a crier.
Oh, I am too. I am too. I'm glad I didn't rant on anything. But yeah.
It's okay to cry though.
It is okay to cry. It is
Abs-
okay to cry.
It's
So
not healthy.
anyway, yeah, it's not healthy to keep it inside. You have to let it go.
Yeah.
Isn't it funny though how uncomfortable that emotion particularly makes some folks feel though? It
Yeah.
boggles my mind sometimes. It's like laughing.
Yeah, I totally agree. I do.
Emotion.
Yeah.
It's like there's people think that there's like a time and a place, but sometimes you just have to let it out.
Yeah. You just got to.
Yeah.
And just let your heart feel it. And that's one thing in my therapy sessions that I had to do. I had to feel it. I couldn't take any medications anymore. I had to take my vitamins, what I do, how was I taking, but I had to feel it. And one thing my therapist always say, well, what does it feel like? What does your head feel like when your head gets so out, when your head gets so filled up? And I'm just like, I don't know. Well, what does it feel like? So when it finally happened, I go, it feels like buzzing bees in my head, just sitting there crunching and stinging me, and it was very, very loud, and I can't think straight. So I had to identify that. As soon as I identify that, I haven't had that feeling before. I've never had that issue before. I mean, I've had severe headaches on some things, but SBC, I'm dealing with math. but but so once I had identified that feeling, I'm okay with it. I actually identify it. There was another thing too that I had recently had about a month ago, and I had to identify it. I Googled it, see that was a mental issue, and it was, and so I was able to blog it and put it away someplace else.
That's good.
So, yeah. So, yeah. Alrighty. So, is there anything else? Because we've been on this thing here for about an hour and a half, and I just realized it.
It's been a lovely chat.
Yes, it has been. Yes, it has been on mental health. So this is a very important show. So, before we end the show for reals, what do you guys want to tell people about mental health, especially what's going on now here in the United States? We're not going to talk about it. I just want to know, what do you guys want to tell people to, I don't know, don't lose hope maybe, or how you want to dress it. I don't even have words for it, but what do you want to tell people?
I think that the opposite of hate isn't love. The opposite of hate is indifference. Or the opposite of love is, sorry, I got it around the wrong way. The opposite of love isn't hate. The opposite of love is indifference. Yeah. So I think if we want to actually, like, we can't be afraid to feel things, like, and I think we need to really bring as much love and care into the world now as we can, because the biggest enemy of love is indifference. If you just don't, like, because at least, hate is a big emotion, love is a big emotion, but indifference is like just not caring at all. So I think we have to be really careful that we don't get consumed by all the hatred that is spilling around the world now. And it's not just in the US, there's hatred everywhere. Like, the amount of war and stuff going on, it's just insane. But if we get overwhelmed by it as well, we can just sit back and just kind of let it happen. And that's tacit acceptance. So I think the best way to fight against everything that we feel that is wrong in the world is to try and make things that are right in the world, and to try and love each other as much as we can, and bring a light. And that is hopeful. There's always hope. There is always a light. There is always a light. even though sometimes it can be really, really hard to see.
Miss Nance.
Hey, I'm a piggyback because there's so much. I was like, ooh, ooh, ooh. Okay. So, okay. So, so when you said the light, I'm like, oh, see, that's why I make music. Because like it's such a great thing when you're performing that you can see when someone gets it, or you can see them light up, you can see them, you can see them be impacted or be moved by like the music, the lyric, the note, your tambourine, something, anything, your piano. But so I'm gonna say three things with respect to mental health. One, it's okay to not, I'm gonna say four things. One, it's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
It is okay to not be okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Two, well, and side note, be honest about it. It's okay to not be okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Then thing number two, oh, my mind's like going like there's 80 billion thoughts and they're all trying to vie to get in line, like to be the next bingo number to get called out of the hopper. So it's okay to not be okay. That's important. And then what else was I gonna say? Oh, unapologetically, don't be okay. It's okay to not be okay. But also, unapologetically, find joy in something. So if you find yourself not like, because there's going to be some days where just getting out of bed is the only thing you do all day. And then there's going to be some days where just, drinking a glass of water is the one thing you did. There's going to be peaks and valleys, and listening to your body and recognizing what you need for self-care. You can't take care of anyone else if you're not taking care of yourself, right? Be unapologetic of that. And so whenever you have those where you're feeling you're like, oh, I'm listless, oh, I'm feeling icky, try to find one thing. Do one thing that'll bring you joy. Do one thing that you know will bring you joy. Listening to that one song that you love, painting, cleaning, go chop wood, break a glass, like, whether it's creating, destroying, cleaning, listening, whatever sense needs to be satiated, do that. And then kind of the last one is that my Graham Veldkamp in Three Forks, Montana, her and Grandpa Allen, like they're sage, they're great. Grandpa Allen, by the way, is a musician, played guitar and played harmonica. So Graham always says, own it. And so nobody, when if you're getting affected by stuff, you're the only person that can allow someone to disrupt your peace.
Mm-hmm.
And that's you can be very protective of your peace, so that you can maintain your peace for self-preservation and for self-care. And so
That means stop scrolling, Helen.
well, and that's so how like when people ride a jet ski and then there's a big wave or big wake or something happens, people tend to hold on harder. No, let go, MFR, let go. It's if it means protecting your peace, like leave the clowns to their circus. You don't have to engage. You can just, sit it out, release, go do something else. That way you can protect your peace.
Cool. All right. And here is my takeaway. I've been wanting to say this for 6 years. If you need to stop your project, take a break from yourself, you are more important than a podcast and your project. You are more important. If you are out of sync and you're going homeless, it is okay to stop your project. Even though people tell you, no, you can't do it. Yes, you can. And don't let anyone tell you differently. Don't anyone make you feel horrible about yourself for stopping your project to take care of yourself. I finally said it in 6 years. Yeah, take care of yourself first. Thank you. Take care of you. Take care of you first. You are first. Because we can't have your guys' beautiful music without you. You can't have my beautiful podcast without me. So, you got to take care of you. Then look at it that way. You can't have you without you.
True.
Put on your own oxygen mask first before you put it on others.
Right. Exactly. Sorry. Alrighty. So before we wrap this up, I want you guys to plug yourself. Where can we find you? Your website, social media, everything. Where can we find you? Go ahead, Helen, since you're way over yonder.
Okay. Yeah, probably best place to find my music is on Bandcamp. So go to Bandcamp. Sorry, what is it? It's Helen Perris /bandcamp.com. Helen Perris is Helen with 1 L and Perris with 2 R's. So that's the best place to find my music, and you can find the links to like my Facebook, and there probably is a Twitter link on there, but I'm not on Twitter anymore because it's not called Twitter anymore. But you can find me on Instagram and Threads and Mastodon. If you look up Helen Perris or Helen Perris Music, that's my handle on everything, so you can find me pretty easily.
Cool. All right, Miss Nance.
Mastodon's a band. What's Mastodon?
Oh, Mastodon is like it's another social media app. That I joined when I left the Bird app. So we call it the Elephant app.
The Elephant app.
Yeah.
Okay, I was 8 years old yet again when I learned something.
It's actually I like it. It's a really nice place. A lot of my old Bird app friends are there. So I'm there, and I'm on Threads, and I'm on Facebook, and I'm on Instagram. So yeah.
Okay. Well, all right. So Guilded Lily is guild like the guitar, ED, and then Lily with 2 L's. It's not the it's not, it's not like the Australian cult song. It's spelled differently. 2 L's and then guild like the guitar, or like a band of people. And you can find our music anywhere you stream. Tidal to any place else that you stream music. Our website is guildedlilly.com. We are on all the social media thingies and Facebook and Instagram and all that. And our website has our event calendar, and we're booked through February of 25. And so check that out and check out the music. We have new music coming out very soon. We were in Snow White's Acid Trip. That's the name of the studio. We got to record to analog tape, and so that was rad. So there's that. And then Bend is a band called Bend on social media, Instagram and Facebook. Our link tree is on Instagram to connect you to everything. And then through Bandzoogle, you can find our website, because we have one now. We're also, both bands are on Bandcamp, so you can find music there, SoundCloud. Yeah, it's good stuff. And so Pretty Princess is, amongst some other songs that are fantastical, is on Ben's EP called What a Ride that came out in August. And so you can get that anywhere you stream music or on Bandcamp, and check it out, listen to it, like it, love it, follow us, subscribe, all the things, because that'd be great.
Cool. All right, and also I'm Shels Pixi, and I write a blog for every single episode that I've been doing for the past, even Guilded Lily's performance was just dropped today, or actually it will be uh November 7th. So your guys is dropped already. Your YouTube video will be dropping on Saturday. So every single episode I've been doing, including this one, I'll have a blog where I will put everyone's social media and the music that you guys play, and also all the music that we actually listed and you guys listed will be on a Spotify playlist, so people can actually come into the blog and listen to what we are talking about. So also, so go to let's talk about the music.com. That'll give you all the information where you can find everything that you guys can. What, Nance? You're giving me this look. What?
No, Mix. No, go ahead. But you're good. I'm excited. I'm hearing you.
Okay. All right. Okay. So also, so you guys can listen to the show on Audioboom, Spotify, music, Amazon Music, wherever you can spin everything you can spin or listen to your podcast, and also on YouTube, official Let's Talk About the Music talk show. So find that and help me get more listeners, because that'd be awesome. It's great. I'm doing a poll right now on Facebook right now. So I'm on Facebook. I'm not on X or Twitter anymore. I fired that a long time ago. I'm on Instagram. I do have my own link tree, but just go to my website, it has everything there. So there you go. In that show. Cool.
Good song by Alice in
All right.
Chains, by the way. Nutshell.
Alice in Chains. Alice in Chains? What?
That's because you said nutshell. Sorry, my brain immediately goes to songs. It just, I'm sorry. It just, but
In a
nutshell. It's a
nutshell.
great Alice
Okay.
in Chains.
All righty. All right. So you guys have a great evening. Don't go anywhere. So I want to ask you guys some questions. So, all right. So you guys have a great night, and I'll talk to you guys on a different time. Bye-bye. All right. So that includes this episode of Let's Talk About the Music. Now, I mentioned in the episode during the recording that I couldn't find the song that inspired me to move forward with my life. It really touched me. I finally found it. The artist's name is Fletcher, and she's singing a song called Healing. And I'll have it in the blog. Okay, so you guys can actually see how powerful this song was to me, and maybe it will you might get some feedback too. All right. So anyway, thank you for listening to the podcast, and I hope you catch you on the next episode. Till then, let's talk about the music, because the music is everywhere.